Climate change continues to rapidly increase and become a big issue within our environment, but very few people acknowledge the issue, and many try to stand out to much of the bigger corporates in order to regulate laymen. It continues becoming a struggle as the government knows about the situation, but are too afraid to stand up to large businesses, as many of them provide the government large amount of tax money. Incidents such as reefs and oceans being destroyed, when mainly the problem revolves with the issue of corporations being reckless with their action. This eventually leads to a dangerous natural disasters which can affect third world countries who aren't as fortunate as others to be affected drastically when a natural disaster hits.
But this time, think about the items that you touch. Companies want us to believe that there's no way to break society's single-use plastic habit. But that's because right now, companies give us little choice. It's nearly impossible to find plastic-free versions of your everyday items in the average store, which means going on. If you can't manage this, you're stuck. 17.6 billion pounds. That is the amount of plastic scientists estimate enter the oceans every year. What does 17.6 billion pounds even look like? Well, it's roughly equivalent to dumping a garbage truck full of plastic into the oceans every minute. You might be thinking, well, I recycle, so if everyone recycled like I do, our oceans wouldn't be choking on plastic. And that is exactly what companies producing and using tons of plastic seem to want you to think. Now that companies have finally started to acknowledge their role in the plastic problem, they're proclaiming recycling as a solution to our problem. But their recycling promise won't cut it.
Effects on plastic pollution is taking a toll on the aquatic ecosystem and the lives of the everyday consumers due to the abundance of the manufacturers and the difficulty of passing laws that can help limit production. One of the most general concerning parts about the plastic is that it contains chemicals such as dioxins, phthalates, and vinyl chloride. The general public health is one of the most concerning parts of this issue, as it affects the aquatic ecosystem that provides food, oxygen, and helps prevent future natural disasters. Many people are actually not aware of this issue due to many of the people not living around the ocean. But the only controversy that surrounds this issue is where there are limited regulations on companies that constantly mass-produce plastic without taking the safety issues that might affect on the general public health.
So, how do we keep plastic, this source of pollution that never really goes away, out of our oceans? We need companies to make less of it. Unfortunately, industry doesn't want to make less plastic. It wants to make more, using the promise of recycling as its excuse. But the truth that companies don't want you to hear is that relying entirely on recycling, which means the plastic we thought was being recycled here in the States could end up in a landfill or in the oceans on the other side of the globe. Why? Because it's cheaper to ship the problem to distant shores than to take responsibility and manage it at home. We export so much plastic that some countries are no longer accepting our low-value plastic waste. They have enough of their own to deal with. Companies know this. They also know that their anticipated production rates will outpace recycling. The amount of plastic going into our oceans will increase, and it will accumulate. Relying entirely on recycling to fix this problem we've created would be like bailing out a sinking ship without even bothering to plug the hole. The fact that tons and tons of plastics are entering our oceans is proof that our current system is broken.
There are multiple ways to address this issue and make a change within our community. Most importantly is to set regulation on the companies that mass produce plastic for the everyday consumer. That way we limit our ecological footprint and as well as our custom art lifestyle that can have an impact on the lives around us. Especially having a good mindset towards the issue that as long as you're doing your part, everyone else will. For more information in this topic within the community,